I've really enjoyed working with the groups of teachers for the last 2 days, but I think for me my most memorable experience here was Mike McCarthy's first plenary. I really enjoy the way he interacts with the audience, talks to teachers and bases everything on really sound research.
Well, to me, Mike's plenary about the English language, really interesting. And the second highlight was Anne Stanton's workshop on technology in the classroom. Very practical, very interesting.
I think personal highlights for me were talking to the many teachers that I've spoken to individually and hearing about their teaching situation and their teaching issues and learning more about the situation here in Switzerland and just learning from teachers about how committed and how professional they are and how successful they are. It seems to me that this is a very successful seminar of very successful teachers.
Well, for me, the highlight really is in the warmth of the reception that we've received from the audiences when we've given our lectures. The feeling of being welcome, the feeling that the audience is responding well to what one has to say is a very important thing. And so for me, that's the memory I'll take away, is of an audience that's very professional, very engaged, but which generated a kind of warmth and welcoming feeling for me.
Well, I hope that in the small part that I've played in the seminar that it will help teachers to reflect on their own language and language use and become more aware of how people actually use language in conversation and transmit that in their teaching practice to their students so that students can benefit from this naturalistic model of language that we've been talking about.
Okay, so thinking of students on two levels, so the students being participants in these workshops, I hope they're going to go away with a set of ideas, but not just ideas to be used randomly, but ideas to be put into practice in a principled way in their classes, and I hope that their students will benefit from feeling more empowered to use the devices that they bring into the classroom, that surround them at home and that are part of their daily lives, to use technology in their language learning, and for these teachers to use technology in their language teaching.
Well, that's an interesting question, because sometimes teachers come to these conferences and what they want is something they can take into the class on Monday. I don't think that's necessarily what teachers can take away from this. Some of the things that I say in my talks, I hope will actually transform teachers' own way of thinking. So that's my hope, that they will refresh their own way of thinking about the language as an act of personal development for themselves, without necessarily taking it immediately into the class on Monday morning.
Well, I would say that the teachers were introduced to tools that can help them teach in a more efficient way, with less preparation time and with material that's much more interesting to teenagers than the boring course books they sometimes have to work with. I don't mean the English course books, but course books maybe produced outside England, elsewhere.
Motivating.
Enjoyable.
Engaged.
Enjoyable.
Very, very beneficial.
Committed.
Professional.
Professional.
And professional.
Good value for money.
Thank you so much.